If you really, really want to buy a house right now, another thing you have to keep in mind, even though the interest rates are high, you have to focus on one thing. You're going to marry the house and date the rate. So the housing recession is here. Yep, it has showed up and it's here to stay for a little while. So should you be buying a house right now? That is the question of the day, actually of the whole year. So I'm going to get into this today. I'm going to give you some information about what this means, what this current housing recession means from some experts saying if you should buy right now or should you wait until next year. And I'm going to share with you also some advice. So let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are here for your dose of real estate reality, you have come to the right place. My name is Jackie Baker. I'm a local real estate agent serving the northern New Jersey area, and I talk about all things real estate, and we also talk about New Jersey sometimes here too. So if you like this information, be sure to like it. And also, I'm so happy to have you here on my channel. So why don't you subscribe while you're at it? And then, keep coming back every week and, check out more of these videos because, I talk about some pretty important stuff here and I don't think you're going to want to miss it. So the housing recession is here and now buyers are even more of a panic mode and they're saying, I'm not buying right now. I don't want to buy a house. I'm afraid I'm going to lose $100,000 in value once I buy it. Like it's going to crash in the next couple of years and the prices are going to come down and my house is going to be worth nothing. All this craziness is like running through their heads. So let me explain to you exactly what this means, this current housing recession. Okay. First of all, the housing recession we are in, it's a recession in the terms of slowing home sales, and also the lack of new homes. Okay. The builders have slowed down on building new homes. Notice I didn't say price. If you're waiting right now for the prices to come crashing down like they did in 2008, it's not going to be like that at all. And I'm going to show you an article explaining why that's not going to happen. But let's talk about what the experts are saying right now with this current recession. So experts are forecasting that the housing market's going to be worse in 2023. I don't think anybody knows, but let's check out here what the experts are actually saying. And let's get into this whole thing. And I don't mean to be all doom and gloom, but look, we have to talk about the reality of what's going on. So let's get into this article. This is from Fortune magazine, and it says the U.S. housing market downturn will be worse in 2023, forecasts Goldman Sachs. Now, why is Goldman Sachs saying this? Now, Goldman Sachs is now forecasting that activity in the U.S. housing market will end 2022 down across the board. The firm projects sharp declines this year in new home sales, 22% drop, existing home sales, a 17% drop, and the housing GDP, 8.9% drop. They continue to say, don't expect relief in 2023. Goldman Sachs projects further declines next year in new home sales, another 8% drop, existing home sales, another 14% drop. Now, of course, this is a direct result of the rising rates from the Federal Reserve. Again, they're doing this on purpose. They need to slow down inflation. You heard me talk about this a few videos ago about the rising rates. Now, interest rates, I think today are close to 6%. They were at 6% in June, and now they dropped back down, and now they've been hovering in like the mid fives, and now they're approaching 6% again. So, of course, that is going to be pulling back demand for buying a home, right? So this is why this is a recession in sales, because people aren't buying the houses right now, but the prices, they have not come down. So I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, this article continues on to say, over the coming year, the Mortgage Bankers Association, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, CoreLogic, and Zillow also predict a single-digit rise in home prices. Others think falling home prices are on the horizon. Indeed, modest home prices declines are currently forecasted by Moody's Analytics. Both Fitch Ratings and economist Robert Shiller, who predicted the 2008 housing crash, think a greater than 10% decline in U.S. house prices could be in the cards. While outright declines in national home prices are possible and appear quite likely for some regions, large declines seem unlikely. If Goldman Sachs' forecast comes to fruition, it'll mean next year is the bottom of the housing downturn. In 2024, the investment bank expects housing activity to rebound. That'll also see, according to Goldman Sachs, home price growth climb to 3.5% in 2024 and 3.8% in 2025. So I think we're in for a bumpy ride between the end of this year and in 2023. But you see the prices aren't going to come crashing down. I know this one guy is saying that, he's predicting prices to come down 10%, but no more than that. Okay. This is not the 2008 Great Recession that we had. It could go on and the housing prices just came crashing down like by a lot of money. Now, I have a lot of buyers I'm working with right now that are just sitting there waiting, and they think if I buy a house today, it's going to be worth so much less in a couple of years from now. And that's why they're so afraid to make a move. I understand your fears. Okay. But if this is your long-term home, this is your forever home, the market's going to rebound. Like it just says right here, it's going to rebound in 24 and then in 25. It's all going to come back again. The prices are not going to rise like they have the past 2 years, because I'm sorry, the last 2 years has just been an anomaly of what's been going on with the pandemic and the low interest rates. And it's just insanity. We're not going to see that again. So we're returning to a normal market. Oh my God. How awesome is that? We're going to get back to a normal real estate market. Yay! So I found another article here that talks about this very thing, about people that are just waiting to have the market crash, and they're not going to buy until we have rock bottom prices and houses are going to be affordable again. No. That's not happening. So take a look at this here. So this article I found here from Next Advisor says, waiting on the housing market to crash? Don't, experts say. Here's how today's market is different from the Great Recession housing bubble. Home buyers might see similarities between what's happening today and the 2006 housing market, where home prices became increasingly unaffordable until the bubble burst, helping trigger the worldwide financial crisis we came to call the Great Recession. Stressed out buyers might be thinking that these high prices are a bubble just waiting to pop again. In fact, 77% of home buyers believe there's a bubble where they live, according to a recent Redfin survey. Oh yes, like I just said before, I have clients right now that are just they're sitting back. They don't want to consider buying right now because of this very reason. They think that the prices are going to burst and their house is going to be worth nothing in a couple of years. Waiting for the market to crash might not yield the results buyers hope for, experts say. There's not really any room for there to be a bubble right now. It's not like people have borrowed too much, and it's not like homes are overvalued. There are a lot of reasons why it seems like we are in a bubble, but at its heart, the issue is simple. Supply and demand are driving up prices. It's just that there aren't enough homes for everybody who wants one. And this is what I've been saying for months now. It's not going to come crashing down because this is economics 101. There aren't enough houses and there's too many buyers, and that's what's driving the prices up. Now, this goes on to say how things have changed since 2006. The previous bubble came after a period in which lenders were more lax about writing loans and more people were in the housing market as an investment rather than to buy a home to live in. Mortgage underwriting was considerably more loose back in 2006. And oh my God, I remember that. I had people in my family, had relatives that worked in the mortgage industry. I could not believe they were giving loans to anybody. And I'm talking, this is back when you had the no income, the ninja loans, no income, no job, like what, no problem. We'll give you a mortgage. Yeah, it all happened. People got these loans without having jobs, income, credit, doesn't matter. Therefore, that created that big mess in 2008. We don't have that right now. Lenders are a lot more strict about giving out loans. We learned from that. And believe me, it's really tough to get a mortgage these days. And when I tell you the amount of work that goes into the underwriting, my clients they call me up and they're complaining about all the information that the bank is asking for. I said, well, this is because of what happened in 2008. They want to know everything about your whole financial situation, and they're going to keep checking it up until 3 days before you close. They're going to verify your employment even up to 24 hours before you close to make sure you still have your job and that you're going to be able to pay off that mortgage. So it even says here in this article, different home loans such as adjustable rate mortgage with big balloon payments due at the end of the term meant people got into homes thinking they could afford the payments, finding out later that their payments grew dramatically to unaffordable levels. There was a lot of financial engineering. There was a lot of predatory lending. There was a lot of bad borrowing on people, not having a lot of equity, not having much of a cushion that led to the housing bubble. So there it is right there, folks. So you guys who are scared to death right now about buying a home and fearing that it's going to crash, this is what caused that crash. They gave bad loans. People just couldn't afford it, and that's what happened. We're not in that situation right now at all. fall. And here it continues on to say, another reason why it's not going to crash, there aren't enough homes. I just said this before. The inventory is still a big issue here in this country. And somebody just asked me recently on my channel, well, what causes inventory to rise? Well, the demand will cause inventory to rise, but the demand is way down right now. There's nobody there wanting to buy because of the rising interest rate. But this is all by design by the feds to battle the inflation, right? They want to pull back the demand so the home prices will eventually come down. But the issue is there's still not enough homes. And there are still buyers out there that do need a home. So the prices, they're still high. They're still selling for asking, in some cases still over asking, not as many bidding wars, but we are still seeing these high prices. So I told you last time I just sold a condo. We had multiple offers in 24 hours. That thing closed in 1 month. I don't know how these people did it, but they got their mortgage closed in 1 month. So wow. If the home is priced right, and if there's nothing else for sale in that particular market, this is what we're going to see. You're still going to see the prices go over at least at asking price or above asking price still. Fewer people are also selling too. And I've said this whole year so far. The only homes that I've listed, they are people who are moving out of state. They have an inherited home that they need to sell, or it's a second property, an investment property. That's all I've been selling. I have not had any people trading up or downsizing and staying within the area. It's not. If they're downsizing, they're moving out of state. That's it. That's all I'm getting. So think about it. For somebody who needs to trade up right now, it's going to be very costly for them because of the high interest rates and the rising prices. And plus, it also costs a lot of money to buy a house, right? I mean, it's expensive, right? You got to pay your closing costs. You got to pay the commission to the real estate agent. It's expensive. So people are just holding back. They're not going to sell. And if the demand isn't there either, I mean, what's pushing them to sell right now? Unless, again, it's one of those three scenarios where you're going out of state, inherited property, or second property. Now, here's the question of the day. When will the housing calm down? Well, in this article here, now you said the previous article is saying we should start seeing a rebound in 2024. I think I agree with that. I think we will see the market rebound and things will come back to normal in 2024. Now, this article, it's saying it will likely take a while before the inventory of available homes matches up with the demand. So again, this article is agreeing with the other one and saying they estimated it could be 2024 or 2025 before the portion of first-time buyers again reaches the 45% level that we saw in 2019. But I don't know about that because we still have all these millennials that still need a home. So in 2008, when the recession hit, a lot of builders just left. They didn't go back to continue building more homes. So that's why there's still such a lack of inventory in this entire country because of what happened in 2008. And those builders left the business and just stopped building. Even though we're coming out of this and the market may rebound, there's got to be more houses. There's a lot of millennials out there that need a home. I'm thinking, yeah, 2024 will get better, but the new construction definitely has to pick up. It really does. We need houses like desperately.
That's right.
Now that we're in this housing recession, what can a buyer do? If you need to buy a house, like you have to get something right now, something you should consider. If your job allows you to be in hybrid work mode, meaning you can work from home several days a week and you only have to commute like 1 or 2 days a week, you might want to think about casting that net further out from the area that you're looking in. You may want to go a little further away from your job, and that commute will probably be a little bit longer, but at least it'll give you more options of homes. That's something I've been recommending to people, that it just may be worthwhile to do that, to just go look further out. Like here in New Jersey, so many people want to be close to New York City, but it's so hard. There's really not a lot for sale here in the surrounding area. So you may want to go like 45 to an hour, hour and a half outside of New York City if you're only going to be commuting a couple of days a week. Or if you're working from home full time, I mean, that's even better, right? That is one piece of advice I can give you. If you have to buy a house right now, you got to cast that net wider. You're just going to have to look a little further away from your job if you really need a house. The other piece of advice I can give you is to be patient. Come to the terms that it's not going to come crashing down. You just need to be patient. And if you really, really want to buy a house right now, another thing you have to keep in mind, even though the interest rates are high, you have to focus on one thing. You're going to marry the house and date the rate, okay? The rate is temporary. Once a recession comes into full force, eventually their interest rates are going to have to come back down. And at that point, you can refinance, lower that interest rate, and you can lower your monthly payment. Keep that in mind. Marry the house, date the rate. For all your home buyers out there, I think this is really good information for you, especially your first timers. And look, if you want more information about tips about buying your home, I have a great playlist over here. I think you should check it out. A lot of good information there. And as always, if you need some assistance from me, if you're looking for a home here in Northern New Jersey, or basically anywhere in the country, because I have thousands of connections to real estate agents across the country, let me know. I'd be happy to refer you to somebody. And even here in New Jersey, if you're looking in South Jersey, Central New Jersey, I have really great real estate agents that I work with I can refer you to. Thank you so much for watching me today. I'm Jackie Baker, and I'm with Coldwell Banker Realty, and I will see you next time.